About what's happening with your bank account with research fellow for Thomas A. Rowe Institute for Economic Policy Studies, Alan Mendenhall, as well as president of Strellmark, Hillary Fordwich. We're also joined in studio by our special guest, Republican strategist and attorney Rosemary Becky, and Middle East expert and senior counsel at the Lawfare Project, Gerard Filitti. Alan, start with you. At this rate, family summer road trips, your daily commute, the price of goods being trucked across the country, all much more expensive. How long should Americans expect to be paying prices like this?
Well, I think the answer is, how long is the Strait of Hormuz going to be closed? We need to reopen that, and then that's when we'll start seeing some relief at the pump. The U.S. remains the largest oil producer. We're responsible for about 20% of global production. And Venezuela actually has the largest oil reserves in the world, but less than 1% of oil production. So there's a new dynamic in the Western Hemisphere that I think our corporations can capitalize on. Venezuela's oil is crude, is not refined. We're the best in the world at refining oil. So we have all kinds of new opportunities there as well.
Gerard, President Trump had a message to countries around the world. That is to simply buy oil from the U.S. He says, we've got plenty. But if that's the case, why are the prices so high?
Well, they're so high because oil is a commodity, and that's priced at the international market. We look at what's going on with the price of oil. We look at what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz. And if anyone pays more for gas in the world, because it is a commodity, we're all affected by the price.
Yeah, makes sense. Rosemary, the March jobs report surprised investors, and the economy added 178,000 jobs. Now, that's way above expectations. The unemployment rate dropped slightly to 4.3%. So when you think about this report, you look at the jobs created, the unemployment rate dropping, what stands out to you?
It's great news. And if you look closely at the numbers and you look where we added jobs, it's very, very significant. You see it in construction, in travel and leisure, and in a decrease in government jobs, right? And that's what we were going for there. So this is great news.
Hillary, same question to you. 4.3% unemployment, almost 200,000 new jobs. What does this say to you?
Oh, I think it's absolutely smashing news because it wasn't expected, Bill. And I'll say this. Every day in the U.S., 10,000 to 11,000 Americans retire. The baby boomers, the graying of America. So the growth in healthcare was absolutely huge. It's one of the biggest percentages. And what we're seeing is this increase also in home care. So there's a lot of expansion there. And I think what's really important about this jobs report is it basically outweighed every single negative prediction that we had. 81 economists had predicted less than half of that. So it just shows, don't try to predict what's happening in the Trump economy, because the manufacturing base that's being built, it's going to even grow even exponentially more. Look for it to go higher next month and beyond into the second quarter.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that would be great news for sure. Alan, from Artemis 2 to SpaceX looking to take off in a different way. The company is going public. Reuters says that the company wants a valuation of $1.8 trillion, and it looks to be listed by June. Now, this is at a time when President Trump wants Americans back on the moon. What are your thoughts on the potential of this SpaceX IPO?
Well, it could be the biggest IPO ever. And it's interesting because this is sort of the opposite strategy that Elon Musk took with Twitter, which Twitter he took private. I'm really interested to see how he feels about dealing with SEC financial and reporting disclosures, and there's less secrecy. And then once you have these shareholders involved, I mean, imagine BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard being the largest shareholders of SpaceX. That's going to be very different. I mean, shareholders are more interested in earnings and not these sort of visionary projects that Elon Musk likes. So it will be very interesting to watch this one.
Yeah, for sure. Hillary, back to you for a minute. The White House dropped details of President Trump's budget for next year. One aspect that really stands out to a lot of folks is the boost in defense spending. He wants $1.5 trillion. That is the largest request in decades. What do you make of the president's emphasis on the U.S. military investment in contrast to some of the things that he's been saying about winding down the war in Iran?
You're absolutely correct there, Bill. Of course, he's been wanting to be the president of peace, but this has been thrust upon him with the situation in the Middle East. I will say you're totally correct. This is the largest increase in defense spending since the Second World War. That's a very important aspect. A big component of that also is the Golden Dome, the budget for the Golden Dome. And I think there aren't many Americans who would say, we don't want to be protected. We know that Israel actually has saved themselves all these years by being a tiny country, by having a very good Golden Dome over them. So I think that that's a very important point. And also Remember, one of the reasons he has to build up now, Bill, is because the military was run down for many, many years. Actually, as many will recall, we've had an airline pilot shortage. Why? Right. Because the Air Force budget was drained for so many years that we don't have the pilots retiring. We don't have that amount of pilots coming out of the military. So it's going to affect lots of aspects of our economy. We need to build it up for those reasons as well.
Hillary Fordwich, Alan Mendenhall, Gerard Fellini, and Rosemary Becky. Thanks to all of you. Appreciate the conversation.